right, Tony. One of the things you mentioned here is that you don't use any chemicals, those types of things. At what point did you realize that it was important to not do that and just let the soil do its thing from a biomass standpoint?
Well, some of that is, especially at the seed treatments and on the beans, and we're hopefully going to get away on the corn. It's just you're killing beneficials, and the more and more we get into the soil health journey, and we need education. I mean, that's one of the big things. Is I didn't know that before. I moldboard plow years ago, and I didn't know, and I always was worried about seeing those earthworms out there and the seagulls taking them away and not seeing them anymore. It's education. So one of the things that's going to be really important. And especially we're lucky here in Wisconsin to have all these soil health groups and the DADCAP supporting us. Because when I was down in Iowa, they're raising money for groups down there. And it's going to take farmer-to-farmer contact and talking and support like today, and have these field days and show the farmers that you can do it, because they're just afraid to do it. I mean, everybody's so set in their ways, they don't want to do it. So, but no, the journey's there. And then if by understanding the soil and what living soil is, you can start figuring that out for yourself, and actually, it makes, it's something we got to do. We got to get up here and get more at these meetings and talk about what is living soil, and how we by introducing these chemicals, you're killing so much of the biology.
Way back when, you said you've been doing covers for 20 years.
Oh yeah, over 20.
What was it 20 years ago, 25 years ago, when kind of the light bulb went on that I want to give this a try and to see what happens?
It was, we got involved with a big watershed project, and they mandated covers on corn silage ground, not the other stuff. It was just on corn silage ground because, more of a bare soil coming early. So we started with oats, and then I got some cereal rye, and then having a private crop consultant, he got us involved in, let's just try no-tilling, soybeans into that stuff. And we did, and we left it grow for a while. And I noticed too, when I started planting into it, it was so much more mellow. The ground is just like a fine granular in that, wherever the cover crops were. So seeing that, made a big difference. It's really nice soil to plant in. The beans came really good, so they kind of got us going. That was actually how it was. Like I say, it was about 20 years ago when we did that. So without that, maybe we probably wouldn't have started until these soil health groups started, because there was really no way of actually doing that. Nobody talked about it. I mean, it was just, we did it. One of the few that did it and kept going at it and seeing the results.
Do you feel 20 years in of doing this that you're still learning?
Still
trying things, and kind of how does that work?
Oh yeah, we will never. I don't think we'll ever know everything we need to know about the soil. Like I talked about with Ray Archuleta the other day, or when I was down in Iowa with him, he went on just about living soil, and that living soil aspect is just a big gambit. Really something to get into and understand. And there's so much we got to learn out there that we don't hardly even touch it. It's an exciting time in agriculture coming up, because this regenerative side, going covers, getting your soil back to where it was supposed to be, will be a big improvement, and also it'll help a farmer's bottom line. We're going to start reducing our input of synthetic fertilizers and hopefully get away from them, and just lower your costs on growing crops.
For you, what does it mean to kind of be at the forefront of this? Because you've been doing it a lot longer than some of these other guys that are just trying it out. You're kind of being the guy they go to for information and education.
It's fun. I enjoy it. I like getting out. Farmers want to hear from another farmer. I always, over the years too, I was always sick of hearing professionals tell you what to do. So farmers, hearing from another farmer is the way to do it. And I don't know, it's enjoyable. It's a fun time. I really, up till 5 years ago when our group started, I got it going over 5 years ago now. I believed in it, and then we got a good group in Dodge County, really some really good farmers that are in our group, and they're really willing to do this, and some big farmers, 3,500 acres down to, small little hobby farmers, and they're doing it, and they're improved their life, improve their social life. They have more time, they don't have to do all this tillage. It protects their soil, and it's just, I don't know, it's just an exciting time. Like I did talk to No Till Magazine, Julie Gerlach, I know her, she's a managing editor, she did an article on me, and I said it's a exciting time in agriculture, and I didn't think this would ever happen, for all the years we've been doing, the cropping and harvesting corn and beans. It was always the same, do it the same every year, do the same every year. nothing ever changed. Now with the regenerative side, to see the benefits and to see the stuff we can do, and the return, return of profit per acre, and not have to add all this time of tillage or time driving over the fields and adding these synthetic fertilizers, and that hopefully we can reduce our fertilizers. The whole goal is reducing fertilizer costs, getting the soil back to where it was, and then getting a more healthier, more nutrient dense crop is what we need to get.
Tony, what about how do you terminate your rye? Use something aggressive before you plant, after? Is it different between corn and soybeans for you?
Well, you want to terminate after. The worst thing you can do, I've never really terminated before, had that disaster, because when you terminate, especially if it gets quite tall and you terminate it, it'll start decomposing and go over, and it will create a substance as it decomposes, which is not detrimental to the next crop growing. And that you can use after your corn is up as a weed. That's actually what suppresses a lot of the weeds. So you want to plant green and then terminate after. Beans, you got a couple weeks if you want to wait, or if it starts to look like it's really going to be dry out, you can terminate it sooner. But corn's usually within the week after you plant it, and get it terminated. But what I've noticed is the weed suppression is so much better with cereal rye and using covers than it was just trying to go out and spray bare ground. So
cereal rye is kind of your workhorse cover crop.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the other things, other cover crops that you use on your farm?
We tried, if we get we do have wheat this year, so we get the wheat off, we'll put like a 5 or 10 way mix in there and get that in there, and use that for, either we'll use it as feed if we need it, otherwise I'll just use it as a good heavy cover crop to get some biology going. And then a lot of it, if we can get it after soybeans harvested soon enough, we'll try to do at least a couple way mix or something to get them in early. But we planted, like I said, this last year we planted the cereal rye right before the snowstorm in December. We had some work to do on some fields, and it all grows. You can bulk spread it, drill it, and we did it over frozen ground already. We bulk spread it. It'll usually always come up, the cereal.